Okay, hope everyone's doing well. Doing a quick video while I go for a walk. I hope the wind is not too intense out here. I hope the audio sounds good. This is a new camera that I got, and it does the facial tracking, so which is pretty cool. So we're just testing out some new equipment. I still haven't even scratched the surface on all the settings and everything, but I wanted to do a quick video that I was thinking about, and the topic is what I wish I knew before all of my eye surgeries. So, quick history. I mean, you could check out my other videos that I go into more details on, but I had multiple vitrectomies. I had them in both eyes, two in one, and then one in the other. Then I had a cataract surgery, and I just had a YAG capsulotomy. So I go into more details on the actual procedures that I had in some of the other videos, but a lot of the questions I've been getting have been centered around, and rightfully so, because people want to know what to expect. So I'm going to do a little more in-depth video about the surgery itself, but I'll touch on it a little bit, like what I think would have been beneficial to know beforehand. So you get the news that you need an eye surgery or a vitrectomy or something, and it's like, what do you do first? Because usually you don't, obviously you don't expect it. You have a retina detachment or you have something, and you have to go right into surgery. So you don't get a lot of prep time. So usually, the first thing people do is they hop on Google because they're trying to figure out what to expect. And I would like to caution against that. As much as, you want to know every single detail about the procedure that you're about to have, I find, and at least for me, that I Googled my brains out and gave myself a whole lot of unnecessary anxiety while learning very little about what to expect. But I sure knew every complication that was possible, no matter how small the percentage is that would happen. And it's just information that does nothing positive for prepping you for a surgical procedure. It just gives you anxiety and showcases all the things that could potentially go wrong, and you don't need that energy. So go by what your doctor's telling you. Do a little cursory kind of search, but don't go too deep reading articles about horrible cases that went wrong. Vitrectomies have been performed for quite a long time, and they're relatively safe and complication free. So don't Google, or try not to Google too much. The surgery itself, dress comfortably. Obviously, you're going to be laying down for a while. Relax. Kind of don't psych yourself up too much. I know it's scary going in there, especially my first one. By the last few, I was floating in there like I was about to watch a TV show. And that's kind of the mental state you want to be in for these surgeries. You're semi-conscious, but you don't feel a thing. You're kind of like watching it happen on TV, which is a really odd experience. People have instruments in your eyeball, which you would think would freak you out beyond belief if you're going through that. But I'm going to tell you that whatever they give you, I think it's a cocktail of like fentanyl and other stuff, you really don't care what's going on. You're kind of present but not present. So as soon as they kind of hit you with that anesthesia, you are just kind of chilled out, and it's almost like you're watching it like a third person video game or something. So don't get too concerned about the surgery itself. One Once you're done, they throw a patch on your eye, and it's not a patch, it's more like a plastic cup over your eye so you don't bump anything, and then they tape it, and they send you home, and you come back the next day and they remove that patch and they inspect your eye and make sure that everything looks good. But be prepared that first night to be a little uncomfortable, especially, the first instinct when we're injured is to inspect the injury, and you can't because it's covered. And don't take that off yourself. Let your doctor do that, because they got to take it off and inspect everything. So you go home, you chill out that night, you go back the next day, they remove the patch, and then they send you back home for the next stretch, which is recovery. Now, what I wish I knew before embarking on these recoveries, and you'd think I would have learned my lesson after having gone through many of them, but I'm very hard-headed. There's a couple different things you have to prepare for. You have to prepare physically. You got to take care of your body. So I'm talking food, drink, water, convenience, prepped food. You're not going to be cooking dinners. You're going to be getting up for 10 minutes at a time, and you got to get back down. So you got to get up quick, eat, get back down. So have food prepped. If you live alone, you got to really make sure that you're ready. Massage table and chair. Every single time I had a vitrectomy, I was offered to rent a massage table and a chair. The first time I went through it, I said, I don't need that. I'm in good shape. How hard is it just to lay down for a week? Well, it's hard. Your body naturally wants to move around, so you get very uncomfortable pretty quickly, even if you're just lying down. Your body wants to roll around and stretch and stuff, and you can't do that when you're laying face down. So I would suggest that you opt for renting one of these massage tables or chairs. It's just going to make life a lot more comfortable for that week where you have to kind of stay mobilized. So do that. Make sure you have a ton of clean and comfortable clothing. It's difficult to get in and out of stuff. You're in a moderate, not terrible, but a moderate amount of discomfort at first. I didn't realize this, but the first 2 procedures I had, you get stitches in your eye, and they usually just dissolve on their own. But I had allergic reactions to the type of stitches that were put in my eyes, which caused a lot of inflammation and pain. So you want to be as comfortable as possible. Get the clothes all ready so you're not going to have to do laundry for that first week. Just make sure you're ready. And then what else on the physical prep? Make sure that you're religious with the eye drops. They're going to give you a steroid drop and an antibacterial drop that you got to put in multiple times a day. Be religious about that, obviously. And then one other thing you might want to have in the house is some anti-inflammatory, some ibuprofen or something like that, because that could help if you have a reaction like I did. And my last vitrectomy, because I had that experience, they used a different type of stitch, which made such a difference. I didn't have that reaction, so I hope for you that you don't have that reaction. Most people don't have any problem with that type of stitch that they put in your eye, and it kind of just dissolves on its own. But for me, I did, and one time I had to have them physically removed from my eye instead of letting them dissolve, which was not fun. So have some anti-inflammatories in case you have a little bit of discomfort. Mental prep. You want to make sure you have your entertainment game on point. I used an iPad at the side of the bed, like on the floor, and I used a donut pillow most of the time. That's the only piece of equipment that I used in all of my surgeries, was this Amazon donut pillow, which was helpful. you know, if I was going to do it again, I would do the massage chair and table. But have your entertainment prepped. Get your Netflix playlists ready. Get your audiobooks downloaded. You know, have everything ready. And then the other mental piece for me that I just want to touch on is just, you know, the lack of physical fitness. So for me, I train every single morning at like 4 or 4:30 in the morning. I'm at the gym. It's just part of my life. I've been doing it for about 10 years religiously. I don't miss days. I don't really skip days, rarely, like if I'm sick or traveling. So you have to prepare yourself to be breaking your routines while you're recovering. So no working out for me was a mental stressor that I had to deal with in other ways. And you know, as soon as I was able to kind of be up and about, they tell you you cannot lift anything more than 10 pounds for, you know, a couple of months. And you know, they kept checking me, and then finally they would give me the green light to go ahead and lift light weights, and then you slowly get back into it. But for me, it was the longest stretches of time where I was unable to be physically active, which was pretty tough. I think that for me, that was the hardest aspect. Every time I had to get another vitrectomy, they'd say, you have another one. It was like strangely, less concern like, oh God, I have to have another surgery. But it was more like, oh man, there goes another 3 months of my life, you know, not lifting and working out. Because over the years, I've become dependent on physical fitness for my mental health. And that's something that I had to take stock in after the fact and really do some soul searching, and you know, decided that I needed to be a little more of a well-rounded person with interests and hobbies outside of the gym. You can't be too myopic in life, or else, you know, you can set yourself up for some difficult times. So that's one of the things I took away from this. But if you're physically active, mentally prepare yourself for taking a break and look at it as you're doing work. You're doing recovery, and your body needs it. So, but then again, you can get back into it. You start walking, then eventually maybe start jogging, and then before you know it, you're back in the swing of things. But that's why I wanted to do this video. You know, what I wish I knew before, things that I might do differently, and you know, advice for people that are going through it, to kind of set you up for success. So I hope this video helps. I am just going for a little walk around the neighborhood. It's 20 degrees in New Jersey right now, so it's a little crispy and my hands are frozen. So I hope everyone has a great day, and best of luck if you are preparing yourself mentally and physically for surgery. You got this. Have a good one. Bye.